Hello everybody, welcome back to PaleriderTV. I am here with the General Manager of Central Hauling, and we're going to talk e-logs and the mandate. Coming up right after this. We're here to talk about e-logs. What do you think? Think they're the mandate's going to go ahead, or what's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, it's definitely the future of the industry. I think a lot of people, have an initial hesitation to it. Even we did. Back in 2012 when we put them on the trucks, a lot of guys right away said that they weren't going to work, they weren't going to be here if they were on the trucks, and
Right.
it really worked out. Most of the guys that wound up getting on them, they wouldn't have it any other way now. If they tried to go back to paper, half of them wouldn't remember how to do it anyway. So
Yeah. I ran into that problem last week. My e-log froze up and I had to get on. I was lost with the paper log.
right,
And I didn't like it. I wanted my e-log back.
right. Yeah, it's I think one of the biggest pieces for drivers to remember right now is, one of the biggest complaints from the driver's standpoint is all the time they have in the dock, all the time that you're wasting between loads, those type of things. Whenever you had the logbook in the old days, due to creative logging, you were able to hide a lot of those things, so you kept your available time where it needed to be, behind the wheel of the truck making money. The e-logs really exposes that information now. It
Right.
really brings to the front how much time is being wasted. JB Hunt did a big white paper on, just how much downtime there is in a typical day for their drivers. The amount of time is staggering, but when you're on paper logs, that's really hidden. You can't see it. So this is kind of a good thing, I think, if from the first standpoint, bringing the general awareness up. The more that the motoring public knows about the information, the more the shippers and receivers are confronted with the information, the more likelihood that they'll bring about change and be able to actually work with you more, so that you're not wasting that time.
What do you think about everybody talking about the how this e-log mandate, when it's going to hit? You think there's going to be even worse of a shortage of parking? And they're also talking about how shippers and receivers are going to have to change the way they do business, about as far as wait time on loading trucks and things like that.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think the more data that's available, especially when it's presented in a large group, I think they have no choice but to accept it for what it is and start really looking at it as a real problem. When you look at the supply chain from where products are made to when they're delivered, there's a lot of wasted time in there, and unfortunately, from the driver's standpoint over the years, most of that time has been on your back. So yes, I do think that shippers and receivers at some point in time will have to take that information seriously and look at it. And as far as causing problems with parking and things of that nature, I really don't think that's going to be that much of an issue. A lot of the guys, even on electronic logs, if they have 2 or 3 hours left for the day and they're where they want to park, they're going to stop anyway. So I think most people are on a routine where they're going to be.
That's me. What are you doing? I'm tired.
So I really don't think it's going to affect parking. You hear a lot of talk too about, once the mandate comes in, a lot of drivers are just going to vacate the market. There's going to be a mass exodus. I certainly hope that's not the case. I think that it's one of the things that if you are able to convince them to try it, I think they'll actually buy into it and like it.
I agree.
I very rarely hear a story of someone who's tried the electronic logs and hated it. It's usually the other way around. So I think that few remaining holdouts will eventually buy into it. really do.
Okay, do you think the 70-hour rule and all that 14 and 11, you think that if they might reform the hours of service, that the e-logs might work better for some people?
It might be. I haven't read them fully myself, but I have seen some different articles come out recently where the FMCSA is kind of doing some new studies as far as maybe reforming the hours, being more flexible, checking with sleep studies and different patterns.
Yeah.
I think all those rules are put in place for a good reason. I think they're there to protect lives and make the roadways more safe, but it's encouraging to me that they're actually doing the studies to see if they can still provide the same safety and comfort for the driver at the same time. So those are good things, I think.
There's some things people are saying, most truck drivers mostly, that electronic logs, when the FMCSA claims it's there for safety, a lot of drivers are claiming that it's not for safety. It's more of a control thing, that the mega carriers in the ATA are what they call a level playing field for everybody, for mega carriers all the way down to the single owner operator. You think anything's true to that?
I don't see any evidence of that. It's something that I think, as far as a level playing field, I think that that's needed regardless. And it goes back to the same thing. Whenever you look at a rate negotiation or any of those type of things, the company that's doing it right, doing it safe, they don't have the same bargaining power that another carrier would have if they're willing to run it creatively, so to speak. So whenever you're in competition with another carrier for rates and you're willing to undercut your neighbor at the expense of safety by allowing your drivers to run unsafe, I think that that's a very valid point. That's a really good reason to push the electronic log. But as far as a big conspiracy to get the owner operator take away power from them, the individual, I don't see anything like that. As a matter of fact, I think if anything, it unifies the industry. I think that right now it's very cannibalistic type market.
Right.
Everyone's against each other, and at this juncture, I think it's a good thing because it would actually bring everybody level playing field, yes, but on the same team as well, so that we're all able to actually be competitive as far as the things that matter. The whole point of logistics is picking up freight and delivering freight somewhere.
Right.
So it goes back to service again. Do it well, and do it accurately.
Also hearing stories about, or rumors that rates, some are saying that the rates are going to drop when the mandate comes in, and some people are saying the rates are going to go through the roof because there will be less drivers after they all quit after the mandate. What do you think about that?
I think the same thing happens with any new type of technology. People are fearful of it, so the first thing is to immediately go out and try to discredit it or cause mass fear. Sure enough, some drivers may leave the industry over the electronic logs. That's very fair. But at the same time, with the information that the electronic logs provide, we're able to be more efficient as carriers. So, for central hauling, for example, we're able to take the information, real-time data from the e-logs, and forecast when can you deliver a load, how many hours will you have when you get there, what patterns may be present, so that whereas before, if you're a planner and you have 10 trucks coming into your area, you need 10 loads. That's just the rule of thumb. But you don't book 10 loads because you never know if someone needs a reset or they're going to be tired or whatever the case may be. With electronic logs, you have real-time data. You know exactly what that truck will have when it gets empty from a projection. So it allows us to be more efficient. So long way around to answer your question, even if a few drivers leave, which I hope they don't, but if drivers do leave, I think that the efficiency that's picked up by the carriers from using the electronic data will actually allow us to haul the same amount of freight with less trucks. So no, I don't think the rates will be affected that much.
Right. Okay, as far as being a general manager of Central Holland, have you noticed any difference in the compliance since Central Holland has been on e-logs, as far as safety and all that other stuff?
Absolutely. Let's see. That was the best way to explain this. When I came on to Central Hauling in 2012, we were a conditional carrier. That goes back several years, and the biggest, from a safety aspect, we're a very safe carrier. But when you looked at our logs traditionally, we had problems that we weren't really that proud of. The electronic logs really helped us to counsel, coach, again, have that real-time data. With the paper logs, when you're dealing with independent contractors specifically, not only does it take 30 days for you to get the logs in and you have to go through the audit progress, by the time you realize there's a problem, it's too late. You've already had a month worth of violations. So this is a way for us to manage that better, for us to get a better foothold on our safety. And, as of October of last year, we're proud to say that we're a satisfactory carrier now. And we have a great relationship with our partners with the Department of Transportation. So those are all things we're very proud of.
I think that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything more that you would like to add?
No, sir. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks, and thanks for being on PaleriderTV. All right, everybody, thanks for watching PaleriderTV. Be sure you check out all the other videos. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Be sure you hit that bell icon, that way you'll be notified every time the video is uploaded. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.